Okay, hey everyone, it's Gurdeep from Discover. Just want to give you guys a quick update to what's going on in the digital marketplace for 2023. This is a guide that our team is using to make sure that any brand that we work with is seeing a really good result when it comes to any advertising they may be doing, when it comes to social media, Google, etc. Let's dive right into it. The things that we're going to be talking about today mainly cover branding and advertising. These, in my opinion, are two of the most important things, and it's what makes up digital marketing. And we'll kind of dive into the difference of all three of those as we kind of go along. Digital marketing is really just attracting or creating an audience using internet platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Google, etc. Really, what this guide is going to show you is how to attract new customers using these platforms. The six things that we're going to talk about: one, what is marketing in 2023? What are the two components of marketing? Component one being branding, component two being advertising, how they work together, and then ultimately, what do we do differently than anyone else that allows us and our brands to get the results that they're looking for. The impact of social media and how consumers discover and purchase products and services. So things have drastically changed in, I'd say, the last maybe 20 years, maybe even the last 10 years with the introduction of social media. If you look into your phone right now and you look at how much screen time you have, it's gone up drastically. More people spend time on their phones than they do watching TV or driving or anything else nowadays. Social media is a way to kind of keep your product or service at the top of someone's mind when they're looking online. Typically, if we have a problem, we think about it and then we don't buy right away. We kind of just let it dwindle in the background for a bit. Advertising allows you to kind of remind someone that they have this issue or this problem by putting that solution in front of them on their social feed. Digital advertising is expected to hit 600 billion this year. This means if you're not showing your advertisement online, your competition is, and they're building trust with an audience that you could be selling to, but that's now going to buy for them because they don't know who you are. What is marketing in 2023? Really, it's just how to build trust for your brand. We only want to buy from people that we actually trust, and that's what marketing does. There are a lot of benefits to marketing your product when it comes to using social media. The average attention span on a post is about 2 seconds. Therefore, you have to utilize content, message, and provide a clear solution to build trust with your audience. Now, a lot of this stuff, it seems really simple, but there's tactics to do it in a way that's really clear, simple, and almost uniform. Social media is kind of designed in a way where any post has to fit a certain metric for it to work. If you know anything about Virgil Abloh, who was a designer, rest in peace. So Off-White, if anyone's familiar with that brand, typically he would take something like a shoe that's really popular and then make a couple tweaks where it keep the same silhouette, but his design would help it stand out from the original model, but also keep the original interested in the revamped product. There's a lot you can do with social media, but there are also some rules that you need to play with. And these three things should be consistent through any form of media that you're posting right now. One, when you're targeting an audience, you want to make sure that you have relatable content. Social media images need to be clear, simple, and eye-catching. Once again, you have 2 seconds, so if your image doesn't resonate, people are going to skip over your post and your advertisement is not going to be effective. Images, colors, font, all need to be specifically outlined and understood by your audience. If you're going for someone that may be into high fashion, you don't want to use really cartoony fonts, colors that don't really represent luxury. Luxury is usually simple, it's clean, and you kind of want to keep that tone. Now, if you're going for someone that may be a little bit more edgy, let's say you sell guitars, that's when you can use a little bit of a more exciting font. Maybe you have a Thunderbolt. This allows you to make sure that the audience that you're targeting understands that your brand represents certain lifestyle that they want to relate to and they want to purchase from. A strong and clear message. This is an interesting one because clear doesn't mean simple in this case. It goes to that age-old saying, it's not what you say, but how you say it. Your message needs to resonate with your audience. If you're targeting someone in finance, stats and data should be represented. If your audience is athletes, then performance outcomes should be communicated. For example, if you, let's say, have a tax company, you might want to say, hey, we on average are able to save 30% more taxes for our customers. Whereas if you run a coffee company and you're selling coffee beans, the message isn't we can make you 10% more productive. It's you can enjoy a better cup of coffee in the morning. It's a routine that I'm used to, and you can make it a little bit better. As you kind of understand who your audience is, you're going to understand how to communicate with them. Providing a clear solution. All purchases are intended to provide satisfaction to a problem. Regardless of what we're buying, it's because there is a need, and that need in our mind is a problem. There are two ways to look at this. Sometimes the solution is simple. I need some shoes for a wedding, therefore I'll buy some dress shoes. Now, those same shoes can be sold as a status symbol. You can buy a regular pair of black dress shoes, or you can go get something designer with a red bottom because that now has a symbol. You stand out as a status symbol. Everyone's going to recognize these shoes. They're going to know you're successful, and therefore, if you're at, let's say, a work conference, they're going to be more inclined to talk to you because you show status symbol. Let's look at a piece of content. I feel like this is usually an easy way for me to help explain the ideas. So this is Trip Action. They've since changed their name. This was still a really good post in my opinion. So Trip Action, an agency that helps you save on your travel. So pretty much they help you buy tickets, get some hotels, etc., etc. The first thing that we did when we were scrolling, we noticed a copy cut with an airplane logo into it. Now, why is this catching our attention? It has relatable content. Trip Action used a latte instead of a simple cup of coffee. They could have took any single copy, but latte art is something that makes people stop. This would specifically target people that spend a little bit extra on everyday items. The average person, let's say if you're a blue collar worker, really you're just looking for a cup of caffeine to get you going in the morning. You start work at 6:30 in the morning, therefore you need some energy. Whereas if you work in an office, that first latte of the day wakes you up, but it also is signed to take a little bit of a break, enjoy some free time, have a little conversation. The latte versus the coffee is a big difference in who you target as an audience. They also included latte art of an airplane, which relates to what they're actually selling to you. Not only does a latte make me want to stop at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, let's say if I'm in an office job and I just happen to be on my phone, but everyone in office usually wants to take a vacation, and combining the two really catches your attention. And then secondly, they provide a clear solution. In one sentence, Trip Action was able to strongly and clearly communicate the offering they present to their audience. Notice the word travel spend. Save 30% on your travel spend. What this also does is it niches out the audience a little bit more, because this insists that you already are considering a vacation. It doesn't say come take a trip with us. It says save 30% on your travel spend. Therefore, if you're already going to spend this money, you might as well save some. This creates a higher engagement, because worst case scenario, if I'm already planning a trip, but now I can save 30%, I'm more inclined to actually take that trip, but also check out how I can save 30%, which would end up helping me to actually take the vacation, but also help Trip Action get some more engagement in their posts, lead to maybe a landing page, go to their website, etc. Now I can buy from them. So combining the niche of people that drink coffee, that are thinking about going on vacation, and providing them a way to save some money, it's like a recipe for the ultimate level of success. This just increases their engagement and has a higher chance for conversion. And then lastly is a strong and clear message. So right under it in the font that's a little bit smaller, it says take all the coffee breaks you want. So they left a clever little message that promotes rewarding yourself in a way that would attract their audience. Usually going for a coffee break, it means you've accomplished something for the day, or you have a big task in front of you, therefore the coffee's going to help you complete it. So it's almost like a reward in itself is just having that coffee. But now that I can get 30% off the vacation, I continue to enjoy my daily pleasures and actually have more of them because you've helped me save. I can now take all the breaks I want, have all the coffee on my break that I need. It's a way to connect with them, but also show that what we're going to provide is going to make your life a little bit better. The two main components of marketing, in my opinion, branding and advertising actually make up marketing. In a lot of places, these two are synonymous. People would use the term marketing and branding and advertising as all meaning the same thing. And even if you go Google, Google does something similar. So the Google definition of marketing, the activity or business of promoting and selling products or services, including market research and advertising. If we looked up advertising, the activity or profession of producing advertisements for commercial products or services. Branding, the promotion of a particular product or company by means of advertising and distinctive design. So they all kind of say the same thing, and it doesn't really distinguish itself. What is the difference between marketing and advertising? Little technical differences, but this is how I kind of like to break down marketing in 2023. So marketing is a combination of branding and advertising together. Branding is content. This is anything that you created upfront. Actual pieces of content, your logo, your posts, videos, your carousels on Facebook, any messages that your company displays, podcasts, anything that you can read, anything that you can hear. This piece of content that you guys are consuming right now, in my opinion, is also branding. Discover is helping you guys understand how to run these ads. We're not advertising to you. We just create this piece of content and it's available for you to see. Advertising is creating an audience behind it. Usually it's done by targeting certain audiences on certain platforms like Facebook, Instagram, etc., etc. It's pretty much putting this in front of people. How do we get it in front of people? We have all this cool stuff, whatever we've created. In digital spaces, it can be like an Instagram post, a video, whatever we've done is the thing, and then the advertising is putting it in front of people. So if anyone's kind of familiar with advertising already, this is where PPC falls in. So when you have good content and you advertise correctly, that's good marketing. Let's dive into each one of those components a little bit further. Branding. Okay, so branding, like I said earlier, is the actual content piece of thing. We'll break down another ad that I saw on Instagram. So this is by Casper. It's a mattress company. If you guys aren't familiar, really big mattress company. They kind of revolutionized how people were buying mattresses online. Their cool thing was it came rolled up in a box, which is really unique, right? It made delivery of mattresses way easier. You didn't have to tie it onto the back of the car. You could just literally have a quick little purchase online, and then a box shows up with a rolled up mattress. If we look at all three original examples, right? Your strong, clear message, your relatable relatable content and providing a clear solution, this is how Casper went about it. And this is their content piece. Within Casper's post, you can see they have not a lot of text. It just says Casper, Boxing Week sale, happy Boxing Week from your new favorite box. In the first blurb, you can see that Casper used an interesting way to kind of convey a Boxing Day deal with the fact that their mattress comes in a box, which is a great play on the words Boxing Day. It's a simple, clear message. Receive the box from our mattress company on Boxing Day. Next, we'll go to the blurb just below, which is how they target their audience. So their audience obviously is a little bit of a younger generation that may be buying most of their stuff online. To kind of filter out or attract this younger audience, they use a younger model with a pet who has an attitude. And you can see the little pug there has a bandana. It's definitely going for an audience that's a little bit more urban, maybe moving out for the first time, looking to buy a mattress. And they don't want to lug around a whole bunch of stuff. Therefore, they just got a quick little box delivery with the mattress that they need. Then lastly, providing a clear solution. Their solution in this context could have been a little bit more direct. However, they have enough brand awareness as a mattress company that it does not need to be as direct as Trip Action. So their clear solution is we'll get you a mattress delivered easily to your house. Whereas Trip Action had to show that they can get 30% off a trip that they may be planning. And this kind of goes back to understanding who their audience is. Casper may be something that you've already looked at before, and now you just want to know that there's a sale going on, which will help you increase the purchase of a mattress that you may be looking for. Whereas Trip Action is competing against all these other delivery programs or agencies when it comes to travel that they have to clearly provide a way that you can save some money with them. Why content is important and why I see it as the foundation of everything when it comes to marketing. It's attention grabbing. As we talked earlier, you have 2 seconds to capture someone's attention. The strong visuals capture attention and then allow you to engage quickly with it. You need memorable and relatable content. Visuals leave a lasting impression and foster connections. So if the images that you guys are using are outdated, they're blurry, they're not clear, they're just gonna get skipped over and you're not even gonna get the second of attention that you need. And then storytelling. Everything is bought through a story. Visuals convey complex ideas and brand values effectively. So within both of the 2 images that we looked at, whether it be Trip Action or Casper design, the visuals were simple, clear, and they kind of let you know exactly what's going on, right? Trip Action was a cup of coffee while you're thinking about traveling. Casper was someone moving in, trying to get a mattress out of a box. Content also helps increase engagement and sharing. At the end of the day, if I'm not buying, I might be able to send it to a friend that's thinking about this. Casper, my friend might be moving. Hey, you're asking for mattresses or you're checking out Facebook Marketplace. Check this out. It's on sale. Visuals generate more interaction and then social sharing. If I'm not going to buy, I can always send it to somebody that is going to buy. And the audience is probably similar in my age group. If I'm a friend, you're targeting me. My friend is probably interested in the same things and therefore the visual will help them as well. So when you build an audience, keep that in mind. Versatility across platforms. Visual content can be shared and adapted across various channels. What I see on Instagram can also be similar on Facebook. It can also be similar on TikTok, etc. When you create content, keep in mind, and you'll see if you see this video in other formats as well, that we've tried to kind of establish one piece of content and then spread it out on each different platform with a couple tweaks to make sure that it matches that platform's audience. Instagram's a little bit younger of an audience. Facebook's a little bit more mature. TikTok likes videos and they like things that are really raw. So just people walking down the street. You want to make sure that the content that you create and distribute is distributed correctly on each different channel. Content can also increase conversions and sales. The better the images look, once again, it just provides more brand trust. At the end of the day, all marketing is really supposed to do is help us trust the company that's promoting these things to go explore a little bit more and then ultimately buy. The better visuals that you have, the more trust we're going to build because one, you're an established enough company to spend some money to actually create something, which means you've already made some sales with happy customers, so you're able to reinvest into better content. SEO benefits, this is more for your website. So optimized visual content improves visibility for your website and search results. This gets a little bit more complex. There's a lot that goes into it, but it does have a little bit of a benefit. And then competitive advantage. Strong visuals differentiate your brand from your competitors. Think of something like Apple versus Windows or a Mercedes versus Toyota. The commercials are drastically different and you're buying for a drastically different reason. So if you can target your audience with certain types of content, it'll help convert those sales. Component 2, advertising. Advertising is probably my favorite thing. Content really works in terms of just helping people create stuff, whereas advertising is delivering it to your audience. So the name's advertising, specifically digital advertising. And all of these concepts and ideas are specific to digital advertising or how we specifically see them at Discover. By no means is this a universal definition and people around the world might see things a little differently. This is just a plan or a system that's worked really well for us, the brands that we work with. So we'll go back to Trip Action. They're using social media. When people say, I want to run digital ads, anytime you see someone with a post that says sponsored, as you can see right under Trip Action's name on the post, sponsored means it's something that someone's paying paying to do. So whether it be on YouTube, on Google, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, even Amazon, if it ever says sponsored, it means that person or that brand is paying for that post to reach you. Sponsored posts are promoted to a target audience. It can either be done through targeting of specific people or specific keywords. On Facebook, it's usually an audience target. People that are X age, of a certain industry, that have a hobby of, let's say, skipping rope. Those three things combined create an audience. Whereas some other platforms, it's the keywords that people may be searching up for. So on Google, are people typing in, well, I need a lawyer. Lawyer is one definition. Make it a little bit more complex by saying lawyer that's in New York that handles divorce cases. Now you're going to get an entirely different search with different people paying for that. The more specific you are with your audience, the better your engagement is going to be. There's a big misconception of, I just need to target everybody in the world with my ad and somebody will buy. Not everybody is your customer. If you're a doggy daycare, why would you target me if I have a cat, or if I have a snake, or if I don't like pets? I am not your customer, therefore your ad is wasted on someone like me. However, if you say, I want to target people with small dogs that live in this community that have a certain job that pays over $80,000 a year, that person is more likely to engage with your advertising and therefore make it more effective. The next question is, where should I actually advertise? And an easy way to understand that, what industry are you in and where are your competitors advertising? Let them kind of do the test run for you, understand what's worked for them and what hasn't worked for them. Now, Google is where most of the advertising is done. There's about 42 or 43% of total advertising being done on Google. YouTube's actually next at 30%. Now, the interesting thing about this, Google actually owns YouTube. So you can actually use Google and YouTube together. Therefore, that's 60% of all advertising. Most people should just focus on Google to start off with, depending on what your brand is. The next one I'd recommend is Facebook and Instagram. Facebook owns Instagram. That makes up the next 7%. So if you focus on Google, which is the easiest to kind of jump into because you don't need a lot of content, and then you can start pumping out content for Facebook and Instagram, you marketed 50% of all media necessarily. Once you're seeing good results, then you can invest into videos like we're doing here and put it out on YouTube. The most important thing with ads, this is where you can actually create an ROI for yourself. Content is cool. You can create a bunch of lovely pictures, a bunch of beautiful videos, etc., etc. But advertising is monitoring where you're actually putting those ads, what you're paying for them, and the return that you're getting. So your return on investment really varies for each industry, right? Let's say you're a real estate agent. You run a couple ads, you spend $2,000, you get 5 leads. One of those leads ends up buying a house from you. That turns into a $30,000 commission. Now, let's say you sell a water bottle, maybe a $15, $20 water bottle. You want to make sure that the return that you're getting makes sense to run ads in certain places. You can't spend $2,000 and sell one water bottle unless you're selling it for 50 grand, but you can sell 50,000 of them for maybe 2,000 if you do correct advertising on, let's say, TikTok. Depending on what industry you're in, we kind of want to understand what your margins are before we create a plan. Depending on your content, ad structure, price, and even platform, your ROI can vary, even if you and your competitor are in the same category, right? So if they're priced at a premium and you're the cheapest option, advertising might not work because you don't have the margin to run the ads. This is why having a complete marketing plan with content and advertising makes all the difference. How do they work together? Ads plus content creates revenue. It's actually really not that complicated. It's just a lot of tedious work. The 5 main things that you really need to do. And I'll break it down in images easier because I feel like pictures are the way to go. 1, identify your ICP, which is your ideal customer profile. 2, understand what platforms they spend their time on. 3, understand what content your audience engages with. 4, develop the content for the specific platform. And then 5, create and monitor those campaigns. What does all that mean? Well, step 1, figure out who are we selling to. Depending on what you sell, how you sell it, and who you're trying to sell to, this is completely going to change. If you're selling, let's say, back to school clothes, now your audience is children. However, at the end of the day, the parents are the ones buying it. So how do you engage both of them at the same time? Low prices, cool styles. If you sell picture frames, you maybe want to targeting photographers that are trying to upsell any jobs that they do for weddings. If you sell bookshelves, you may be targeting readers, you may be talking to people that have collectibles. So really, who's actually paying for your product and what do they like to see? What sites are they on most? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Google? Are they on Instagram? Find out where they are and then make sure that you understand how they behave on those platforms, which leads us to step 3, which is content. What kind of content are they looking at, right? If they're a photographer, are they looking at other photos? If they're women that may be pregnant, having babies, are they engaging with a lot of baby videos? These are all stats that are out there on these different platforms that you can kind of take a look at and then create content based on what's working. Create a few variations of content. So a lot of people go, okay, cool, I'm going to make one baby video, I'm going to run ads on it and it's going to work perfectly. The problem is you never really know exactly which piece of content is going to work for your specific brand. So you want to create a couple different variations. For example, with this video, what we're going to do is post the whole thing on YouTube, post a couple different clips on LinkedIn, post a couple YouTube shorts, maybe throw some stuff on TikTok. Just make sure that we're hitting every single platform with different variations of this video. Therefore, they can engage with the video and end up interacting, going to the website and seeing if they want to use our services. So by creating one big piece of content like this, we're able to customize it for different platforms and optimize our results. Now, once you have your different pieces of content, this is when you start running ads. And you want to track your early wins and losses, right? So if you find out the third post that you created with the background being blue is doing really well on Facebook, you want to create more blue background posts for Facebook because they're working for you. And therefore, you continue to kind of tweak the new pieces of content and quickly run ads on those again to see what works and what doesn't work. Then you just optimize those campaigns by creating more similar content, and that's what's going to get you results. And you end up spending more money on winning campaigns and getting rid of the ones that aren't working for you. In a way, it's kind of just understanding what works for me, understanding what worked well, and then recreating a couple new variations of that. Now, when I run ads on the new variations, that's a higher likely chance for success. And you just keep doing that over and over and over. And that's how you have great ad campaigns. Optimize your ads. In my humble opinion, this is where experts are needed. Facebook has over 10 different campaign types with their own match types. So that means you can do a Facebook banner ad, you can do a Facebook post ad, you can do a Facebook story ad, you can do reels, etc. There's 10 different campaigns that you can do just on Facebook that will have their own targeted audience. Each audience prefers seeing things differently, and some buy off a reel, some buy off a post, etc., etc. There's a ton of different combinations on Google alone. Facebook has 8, YouTube has 6 different ad types, Instagram has 8. And there's new ad types being created all the time. Facebook just recently announced stories. YouTube has shorts all of a sudden. Always something new and a new ad type that's being created. Ads need to be monitored and updated at least on a bi-weekly basis. And that's a little too late if you ask me, but this is if you're doing everything yourself to make sure they're actually meeting ROI targets. Anything later than that, the data is not being optimized fast enough. Therefore, you're not seeing the best return, which means you're wasting a lot of money. This is why our brands stand out against their competitors. What we do is a little top secret, but we'll kind of dive into a little bit of the secret sauce that we have planned out for some of the brands going into 2023 or the second half of 2023. Why are we good at what we do? Our brand managers have at least 5 years of brand management. This is across all platforms: Google, Facebook, Instagram, Amazon, etc., etc. We've worked with 40 plus million in ad spend for brands. We've helped grow startups and worked with Inc. 500 brands. Our strategists focus on individual brands and a unique plan for each account. There's a lot of people that have a cookie cutter strategy. It might work, but it's not going to get you the best result. The reason that we look for the best results possible for each account is we want to make sure that your success is our success. Therefore, we're directly compensated the better we perform. Reporting is really transparent. We don't ask for a flat rate up front and then provide you a report. We actually show you where your money's going, how much of it's being spent on Google, how much is being spent on Facebook, what worked, what didn't work. We have video chats on a bi-weekly basis to make sure that you know exactly what's going on. And we actually have a passion for this stuff. There's a lot of people that are jumping into social media or advertising because they think they can make a lot of money. We've done this for the last 5 years, and now we're like, hey, we know what these brands are looking for, and we can help them grow really, really big if we just run the company ourselves. That's how Discover kind of came to be, and we're trying to help you discover more customers as well. Our game plan for some accounts. The first thing you need to do is revamp your site depending on what you actually sell. So I ran into a lawyer with a trust. So when you buy pre-construction condos, your money actually goes to a law firm, and once the condos are move-in ready, that's when the builder gets paid. So this is his job. First thing that we need to do is revamp his website, make sure that anyone that visits his site is able to kind of understand what services he's able to provide, what counseling he can provide, how much it costs, etc., etc. Any campaigns that we launch or any content that we create on, let's say, Instagram is going to push people to his website to learn more and then eventually convert. So we want to make sure that the website's convertible. And I do have another video on that, on how to create better landing pages, etc., etc. So when people come to your website, they'll actually buy from you. So you guys can check that out as well. Then we're going to launch some campaigns, create some content, optimize the campaigns, and then optimize the content as well. And then you create your end of year campaigns. To learn more, we do have another video on actually how we built out the campaigns, all the different structures, your autos, your broads, etc. So all that technical stuff is in that one too. This one I kind of just want to give you guys a learning basis of how to actually create content or understand what it is to be marketing in 2023. Next steps. So if you kind of want to learn a little bit more and see if your business qualifies for our system, there's going to be a link below. Let's jump on a call. Let's understand what your margins are, how your business operates, anything that you may have tried before when it comes to digital advertising, and see if we can make a difference this time. There are a couple brands that this probably won't work for. I've spoken to a lot of them. So if you think you're in a position to really take your business to the next level, you have some systems in place, and now you're really just looking for more customers or more leads, give us a call. There's a link below. Let's set up a time and we can see if this makes sense for you. Other than that, I want to thank you guys for your time and look forward to hearing from you. Take care.